The music world mourns the loss of Larry Tamblyn, a pioneering figure in the garage rock movement and founding member of the Standells, who passed away on March 21, 2025, at the age of 82. Tamblyn's death marks the end of an era for a musician whose gritty sound and rebellious spirit helped shape the landscape of 1960s rock and influenced generations of artists, from punk trailblazers like the Sex Pistols to modern rock icons like Bruce Springsteen. Best known for the timeless anthem Dirty Water, Tamblyn leaves behind a legacy that resonates far beyond the Los Angeles clubs where his career began, echoing in stadiums, airwaves, and the hearts of fans worldwide. Early life and musical beginnings: born Lawrence Arnold Tamblyn on February 5, 1943, in Los Angeles, California. Larry Tamblyn grew up in a family steeped in show business. His older brother, Russ Tamblyn, would become an acclaimed actor known for roles in West Side Story and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, while his niece, Amber Tamblyn, later rose to fame in films like The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Music, however, was Larry's calling from an early age. As a teenager in the late 1950s, he launched a solo career, recording singles like Dearest, Patty Ann, This Is the Night, My Bride-to-Be, and Destiny for Pharoah and Linda Records. These early efforts showcased his vocal talent and knack for melody, laying the groundwork for his later success. Tamblyn's Hollywood roots and natural charisma gave him an edge, but it was his passion for raw, unpolished rock that defined his path. By the early 1960s, he was ready to trade the solo spotlight for the collaborative energy of a band, a decision that would cement his place in music history. The birth of the Standells in 1962, Tamblyn founded the Standells, a name inspired by the countless hours he spent standing around booking agents' offices hustling for gigs. Alongside guitarist Tony Valentino, bassist Jody Rich, and drummer Benny King, Tamblyn envisioned a group that could capture the raw energy of the emerging rock scene. The lineup evolved over time. Rich and King departed, replaced by Gary Lane and Gary Leeds, later of the Walker Brothers, but Tamblyn remained the band's driving force, steering them toward a sound that was both gritty and infectious. By 1963, the Standells had adopted a look inspired by the Beatles, growing out their hair long before it became mainstream in America. We had seen photos of the Beatles in London before they became big here. Tamblyn recalled in an interview with Classic Bands. Grew our hair out, and when they started to break here, we were doing the same shtick. This bold aesthetic, paired with their edgy sound, set them apart in the Los Angeles club circuit, where they became fixtures at venues like PJ's. The band's big break came in 1965 when they signed with Tower Records, a Capitol subsidiary, and teamed up with producer Ed Cobb. Cobb presented them with Dirty Water, a song he'd written after being mugged in Boston. Tamblyn and the Standells transformed it from a standard blues tune into a garage rock classic, adding a snarling guitar riff by Valentino and vocal asides that gave it a punkish edge. Though Dick Dodd, a former Mouseketeer who joined as drummer and lead vocalist, sang the track, Tamblyn's keyboards and arrangement contributions were pivotal. Released in late 1965, Dirty Water peaked at No. 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 in July 1966, becoming an anthem of defiance and local pride. Dirty Water and cultural impact. Dirty Water wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural phenomenon. With its references to Boston's Charles River and a gritty, unpolished vibe, the song captured the spirit of a generation rebelling against the polished pop of the era. Though none of the Standells had visited Boston before its release, the track struck a chord with the city's residents, eventually becoming the official victory anthem of the Boston Red Sox in 1997. Today, it blares after every Red Sox and Boston Bruins home win, a testament to its enduring resonance. The song's proto-punk energy earned the Standells a reputation as the punk band of the 1960s, influencing later acts like the Ramones, Sex Pistols, and Iggy Pop. Its inclusion in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 Songs That Shaped Rock and Roll underscores its significance. Tamblyn often credited Cobb for bringing out the band's raw edge, but he emphasized the group's role in its creation. "We added the guitar riff and all the wonderful vocal asides," he told Classic Bands. "It was a different kind of arrangement than a straight blues." Beyond Dirty Water, the Standells churned out a string of garage rock classics like Sometimes Good Guys Don't Wear White, Why Pick on Me, and Try It, each brimming with attitude and melody. They also made their mark in pop culture, appearing in low-budget films like Riot on Sunset Strip, 1967, and Get Yourself a College Girl, 1964, as well as TV shows like The Munsters and The Bing Crosby Show. Their shaggy-haired, leather-jacketed image made them icons of the counterculture, even as they navigated the tension between their rebellious sound and the conservative venues they played. Challenges and resilience. Despite their success, the Standells faced challenges. They never received songwriting credit for their contributions to Dirty Water, a sore point for Tamblyn, and their subsequent singles struggled to match its chart performance. Dodd left in 1968, and the band's original run fizzled out by the end of the decade. Tamblyn, however, never abandoned music. He explored other ventures, producing the children's album The Lollywinks for K-tel in the 1980s and composing orchestral and jazz scores. But the Standells remained his heart. The band reunited sporadically in the 1980s, and by 2009, Tamblyn led a revitalized lineup on an international tour, including their first UK show in 2010. In 2013, they released Bump, their first full-length album since 1967, proving their sound still packed a punch. A national US tour followed in 2014, and Tamblyn's energy kept the group relevant, earning rave reviews from fans and critics alike. In 2022, he published his memoir, From Squeaky Clean to Dirty Water, chronicling his journey with the band. The following year, he was inducted into the California Music Hall of Fame, introduced by his brother Russ, a fitting capstone to his career. Final years and legacy, Tamblyn remained active into his later years, performing and connecting with fans online. His nephew Dennis Tamblyn shared the news of his passing on Facebook, writing, "A few years ago, the Standells played at Hotel Congress here in Tucson and Larry stayed with me. It was so great to hang out with him and catch up." He was still making music well into his later years. "You will be missed, Uncle Larry." No cause of death has been disclosed, though posts on X suggest he had been ill. Tributes poured in from fans and peers. The Striped Bananas, a psychedelic rock band, wrote on X, "Very saddened to hear about the passing of Larry Tamblyn of the Standells. Fabulous keyboardist and sometimes lead singer. We're glad to have met him a couple of years ago. Rock on Larry, thank you for the music." Comic book writer Jack Wolverton added, "It was totally surreal that a member of the 60s garage punk band my 80s garage band used to cover moved just around the corner from me in rural GA." Fans on social media echoed the sentiment. "I can't think of a more iconic garage rock anthem than Dirty Water," one wrote. "It's definitely one of the most memorable tunes of the era." Another said, "R.I.P. Larry Tamblyn, too many people leaving the room." A lasting echo, Larry Tamblyn's death at 82 closes a chapter on a career that bridged the innocence of early rock with the raw rebellion of punk. His work with the Standells didn't just define a sound. It captured a moment when music became a voice for the restless and the free. From the sweaty stages of PJ's to the roaring crowds at Fenway Park, his legacy endures in every chord of Dirty Water and every band that dares to play it loud. As the world says goodbye to this rock music icon, Tamblyn's spirit lives on, a reminder that sometimes the best stories are told in the dirtiest water.